If you are broke, so if you're earning 500 bucks a week and you're not saving money, you will not change when you start earning better money. The first stage is saving. Get to the point where you are saving a monthly amount. I have clients, on the other hand, who are literally earning $60,000 a year, $80,000 a year, and they're saving more because it's a mindset. And that is what I want to really drill down on today.
We believe every Australian deserves a right to own at the very least 5 investment properties. I'm Adrian Trimboli.
And I'm Frank Ambesi, and welcome to the Invest in You podcast.
Today's podcast is going to be hard hitting. Very different from most podcasts. Might ruffle up a few feathers, but that is my job. For you guys, for our community who listens to us and listens to myself religiously, my job is to serve you. And to best serve you the way I know how. My job is to go through the challenges or the wins that I experience in life. And when I do, I pass them on to you. So you don't have to either go through the challenges yourself, or the wins that I've gone through in my life, you can just replicate. So today is all about how to become financially free. From a monetary point of view, yes, but very much and more so from a mindset point of view. So let's get into it and let's rock and roll. I'm excited for this one, guys. So how do we create financial freedom? Well, first, let's kind of work out the types of people in this world. I believe that there's two types of people in this world. There are spenders and there are savers. So which one are you? How do we work this out? Well, what percentage of the amount of money do you save every single month? Now, I think it's a BS rule to say that you will save more money when you make more money. If you are broke, so if you're earning 500 bucks a week and you're not saving money, you will not change when you start earning better money. Trust me. Why do I say that with confidence? Because I work with hundreds and hundreds of clients, some of them who earn $400,000 or $500,000 a year. And for most people who listen to this, they go, wow, if I had that money, I would save half. I would be free. I'd be saving $250,000 a year. No. Some of these clients of ours are the worst savers I've seen. I have clients, on the other hand, who are literally earning $60,000 a year, $80,000 a year, and they're saving more because it's a mindset. And that is what I want to really drill down on today. It is a mindset. It is a fallacy. If you don't save when you have limited funds, you will, It is a fallacy that if you are not saving when you have limited funds, that you will save when you have all the funds in the world. When I was a kid, I'll take you back when I was 15 years old, I used to work at McDonald's and I used to go to school. And I used to, also after McDonald's, I used to work in, bullshit jobs. I religiously saved $500 a month. And it was just, I never missed it. It was an absolute guarantee that I would be saving $500 a month. If that meant I missed coffee or I missed eating out when I was young or whatever it was, I did. And I'm very lucky. It became a bit of a game with my brother and I, how much we used to save. We used to have a game of being like, I save, and we used to get excited about it. Now, this has stuck with us. I'm very grateful it stuck with us. But some of you might hear that and go, okay, well, I'm not like that. Let me give up on this podcast and give up on trying to become a saver, right? Stop. This can be learned like anything. So stay for the rest of this podcast, please, because you will benefit greatly. I've helped hundreds of clients. I've helped my partners in the past. I've helped people being able to change this. So it can be learned. Now, for some reason, I don't know why, my brother, my sister, and myself, we all picked up the traits of being the saver, like my mum is, and not the spender, like my father is. So point number 1 to financial freedom is you need to decide who you are. If you are a spender, you need to work out how to change this mindset a little bit, not to the point where you don't spend anything and don't enjoy life. but you need to start working through that. And I'm going to show you in today's podcast how. And if you're a saver, awesome. You're one step ahead. Now, when you start making money, you then have a bucket for savings, and then you should have a bucket for investing. The more savings you have, and this is a very interesting part here, so I want you to really, really listen up. The more savings you have does not necessarily mean the more spending you need to do. It's the more investing you can do. This is the mindset you can have, and you put everything into buckets. Now, I constantly tell myself, as you guys probably know, I've got our CFO, he now manages my private stuff. And he constantly tells me every single time I spend over my budget, I am deciding that I'm, one, pushing my goals further back, but also I'm just taking away from the lifestyle that I am essentially chasing. Okay. Now I've put some numbers together for you so that this really drives home. Okay. Let's say that I spend $1,000 over budget this month. And I were to put that $1,000 into stocks. I'm very big on stocks. I love my stocks. Okay. That $1,000 not in a stock today, so spent on whatever it is saying that I don't want to have $50,000 in the next 30 to 40 years' time. Now, why do I think like that, and why $30,000 to $40,000? Let's use Apple as an example. $1,000 into Apple today, held for 40 years at a 15% growth rate. Over the last 10 years, it's been roughly 20% year on year. It will give me just shy of $50,000 in 40 years' time. 1,000, 50,000. What does that 50,000 do for me in 40 years' time? Well, that's a holiday. That's whatever it is. But again, this isn't a money thing. I don't necessarily, like, it's kind of hard to be like, hey, $1,000 is $50,000 in 40 years, right? Like, it's not that enticing, and I understand it. But it's just a mindset. It's just a mindset. A lot of you might think, wow, I don't put money aside for fun buckets and I'm restricting myself so much. I'm going to touch on that later. Okay. I want to be really, really clear. This mindset that I have does not deter me from doing things that I love. Okay. I'm going to touch on it. I will touch on it. I promise. But all of these things, I can tell you now. So yes, I've got a CFO running all of my financials, right? Then he looks over my stuff. He runs cash flow analysis for me. Some of you guys might not be in that position to do that or don't want to do that. And that is fine. I'm actually releasing another podcast and I'll put it in the comments section because I actually had our CFO on and he gave some really, really good tips of how anyone can do this on their own. But I have always audited my stuff. So how do you get to a point from no savings or limited savings to, okay, I want to start saving, I want to start investing in I want to start building a future for my family or myself or whatever it is. Why would I audit all my stuff? Amazon accounts or Netflix accounts or everything. Now, if you're a big spender, just cancel this stuff. Just remove it from your credit card. The reason why I do this, or now, I'm very fortunate now I have someone doing all this stuff for me. It's big, as I said before, it's just a habit. I love saving. I feel passionate about me saving and not spending. It just gives me such an advantage, right? It allows me to have extra cash at the end of the month, each month, which I then allocate to my investments. Now, again, you might hear this, you go, I want to be there, or I don't want to be there. If you are on the side of, I want to be there, I want to know every single month that I can put $2,000 into investments, or I can put $3,000 to a holiday, or I want to put whatever it is. The first stage is saving. Get to the point where you are saving a monthly amount. Every month, predictable. Same thing. Even if you are earning $60,000 a year, $50,000 a year, if you put in there that you're saving $100 a month, it is the mindset. And I can guarantee you that when your income rises to 120 and then 150 and then 200,000, all of a sudden that $100 a month, that habit, it just keeps coming back and it gets getting bigger and bigger and compounding. It works. Once you are at that saving stage, you then start investing it. And I'm not going to tell you what to invest in as I'm not allowed to. But stocks, properties, EFTs, whatever it is, the way you get there though, from the real initial stages, is having a budget. Work out where you're being wasteful and silly. Build that podcast, build that budget. If you drink coffee, does it need to be every day? Now, I'm going to tell a little story because it's quite funny. And this is the part where it might ruffle up a few feathers, as I said at the start of the podcast. Maybe this isn't healthy. Maybe it is healthy. I don't know. It works for me. I take great pride in it. I only buy 7-Eleven coffees. I walk in there. I pay $2 for a coffee, but it kills me. And again, I'm not to blow my own trumpet. I run a multi-million-dollar company, and I look at some of these people who don't have money. And when I say don't have money, are not at anywhere near the point of wealth. And it's a daily habit that they must have their coffee. They must eat out and get brekkie. This hurts me to see it. And maybe it shouldn't. And that's why I'm saying it might not be healthy. But it's also the reason why so many of us get left behind or get tied to our job, because this is just a mindset. This is just a mindset. Imagine you changed every single day buying a coffee to every second day. And it's just a mindset, right? It's just a mindset. But think about what that does over a 40-year period. People, it's a mindset where people feel that if they are on the other side, if they're a spender, they are restricting themselves if they're not having that coffee. And those who are on the savings side feel like they have a step above everyone else. And that's how I genuinely feel. When I walk into a coffee store, I walk into a 7-Eleven and I buy that $2 coffee, and it's something so small, right? It's not going to change my life drastically, but it is that habit. So my suggestion for step number one, get a budget, review it weekly. I'm going to hand out a budget at the end of this podcast. If anyone wants that, I'm going to explain how you're going to get that. So stick to the end of the podcast. But saving $300 a year, $400 a year, sure, it might not be astronomical right now, but it is the first step to building absolute abundance in your life. Okay? Secondly, debt. This makes me cringe. This pisses me off. I don't understand why people spend money on shit that you don't need to impress people who don't care. Brand new cars, big weddings, debt on depreciating assets. Even debt on appreciating assets, you need to scrutinize this. You need to scrutinize this. I was talking to a kid, a barber. Well, he's actually not even a barber. He's an 18-year-old apprentice who's my barber's apprentice. And I've told him to read a particular book. The book's not behind me. The book's here. And the book, I'm going to get the book up for you. It's the book that we hand to every single one of our clients. So for our clients seeing this, I'm going to give him this book. I've given him this book, excuse me. I'm not going to give him. He was talking about, he said something to me because we got on the topic of finance and what he wants to do and whatnot. And he goes, I spend all my money. I have a really, really bad habit. He used those words. I have a bad habit. Now, he doesn't earn much, like nothing at all, $200 a week, right? He's an 18-year-old kid. My advice to him was save $10 a week because of the habit. But I also said this as well. I also said, what is the point of impressing these people? Now, at the same time, I was 18 as well. So I understand that. It is all about, a lot of it is about buying clothes and buying this and looking cool and being that, because our minds at 18 years old is, we haven't got the mindset of building wealth or retirement or having a better life for your family. I mean, at least I didn't. But the sooner and the earlier you get to the point where you realize that no one actually gives a shit about what you wear or what you don't wear or what car you drive or what watch you have, the quicker you will start to move to the point of saving, which is the first part, and then also not buying depreciating assets like cars, like bullshit, right? I bought this watch. This is a watch. I don't even know how much I paid for the watch. It's a Seiko watch. It's the first watch I've ever bought. And it cost me $3,000 or $4,000. Okay. I didn't buy this watch until I made over $1 million in business, until I had a $3 million property portfolio. I don't even have a car still. I still use the family's banged up car that's done over 400,000 kilometers. And I'm worth millions of dollars. Now, I'm not worth billions of dollars. I'm not worth tens of millions of dollars, right? But I can tell you now, I will not buy a car, a brand new car, until I'm at a point of, honestly, over $10 million. Because in my mind, why would I buy a depreciating asset which goes down in value when I buy it? How stupid, in my opinion. Then some people go and finance this stuff. So again, a lot of the time, right now, it might make you feel good. Don't get me wrong. It might make you feel good. But if you really ask yourself, why am I buying a particular asset in quotation marks? Why am I buying a car or a piece of jewelry or a piece of clothing? If you really go down to the crux of it, usually it's because you're trying to impress someone that does not give a fuck. So I thought I'd just share that. And that is absolutely my mindset to this. Will I buy things in the future? Yeah, absolutely. Like when I have $250,000 of income coming into my pocket without me working, that's got nothing to do with my work income, I will go and buy my dream car. I will go and buy a watch that I really want. But until then, it's all fluff. It's all noise. So if you're buying assets that literally, as soon as you drive out of the car park or as soon as you drive out of the dealership, is going down in value when you are not financially set up, to me, that is really crazy. It's really, really crazy. I told you today was going to be hard hitting, and I want it to be hard hitting because I care for you and I care for our community. Okay. But depreciating assets, no. Third thing, cash is security. So I'm in property, I'm in stocks, I'm in business. Most investors or gurus will tell you to spend all of your cash, and any cash in your bank account is losing. Now, at some point, yes, that is correct. However, I can tell you now, and this is a plan that I've built out. I suggest everyone with a family, without a family, to also build out a plan and a structure to this. How much living expenses, how long do you need to have in your bank account of living expenses for you to feel comfortable? So for me, I've got 3 months of living expenses in cash, 6 months of property expenses in cash, always. That's security for me. Soon, when I have a family in the next 3 to 5 years, that will move up to 12 months. I'll have to have 12 months of property expenses in cash. I'll have to have 12 months of living expenses in cash. That is security. And when the market shits itself, if it's in the stock market, or if there's, properties going for sale that are cheap, I have cash. I buy those assets. Cash is security and cash is smart. So don't listen to people and say spend every cent in your bank account, because that's all BS. Again, in my opinion, if you need to answer, so maybe as you're listening to this, ask yourself, what if you went 6 months without any income? Could you pay your bills? Is there enough cash saved? Some of those investments that you might have, that can't necessarily be easily liquidated. So you need to save for a rainy day. So ask yourself that. If 6 months went by and you had no income coming in, what would happen? How about a year? How about 6 years? At some point, something will happen in life. You might lose your job. Your partner might fall sick and the income might be gone, whatever it is, right? Retirement age is at 65. Life expectancy, let's be honest, is no longer 80. When we're 80 years old, for a lot of us, 30, 40, 50 years away, life expectancy is going to be 90, 100, 100 plus years old. So how much do you need to survive that 40 years from retirement, after retirement? How much do you need? How much do you need to feel comfortable? If you've got 3 years of savings there, or 3 years of assets that are paying you, or 50 years of that, when you have that number, then you either need the cash or the assets to be able to live comfortably to the day you die. It's pretty simple. It's pretty simple how you work this out. I know for me, for the life that I want, I need $200,000 to $250,000 of income coming into my pocket without me working. I have that number. I know. I'm going to be pretty close. At the moment, it's 12 years away. If I buy a few more assets and do the right things, it's probably going to be about 6 years away that I achieve that. 6 years away. I've got 6 years. I'm not even 30 years old. And by 36, I should have over $200,000 coming into my pocket without me working. For me, that is the security number. That is the security number. That allows me to take my kids to school every single day. I want to drive my kids to school. That allows me to pay for their school. That allows me to rent where I want to rent. That allows me to do all the things. So come up with that number. And then if you haven't got that number, start working towards, cool, I need to have 3 months savings because that makes me feel safe. Everyone's got a different risk profile, right? I can't tell you what that number or what that amount of months needs to be. You need to come up with that number and then you need to start working on, cool, what do I need to actually achieve that? I went to another quick little story for you as it pops up in my mind. I went to it was a nice dinner, actually. A client took us out, not a client, a partner took us out for dinner. And it was, one of these fancy places you had to book in a month in advance or some stuff. I don't know. I don't do any of that stuff. But you had to book it in and the place was packed to the brim. Now I saw all these people spending, truckloads of money and, buying bottles and $1,000, that we're looking at the menu and things were worth, I don't know, $800 for a bottle. Anyway, I walked outside and the bars and the streets were packed and I get it. People love to spend. People are spending money like it is water. And especially after COVID, right? People need experiences and I get it. I get it. You just need to decide what makes you happy. What makes me happy is saving. What makes me happy is building wealth. Because I know that building wealth allows me to support my team. Building wealth allows me to support my family. When someone inevitably needs serious medical procedure in the future, or someone needs $10,000 or whatever it is, I want my close-knit people to be able to rely on me. As I said before, I want to be able to pick up my kids from school every single day. I don't want to be worried if I can afford to leave work at 3 p.m. I want abundance. And that's what I want for you. That is what I want everyone who listens to this podcast. Complete abundance, confidence. When you've got cash in the bank, when you've got security, when you know that regardless of what happens with business or with your work or whatever it is, that you and your family are going to be okay, that I want you to have that confidence. That's the confidence that I'm thriving to have. And I can't wait to get there. So what do I want from you right now? Well, I want you to do a few things. Get your shit together now. If you've got your shit together and you've got a budget in place, awesome. If you haven't, don't think, I'm too young, I don't need to worry about it. Don't think, I'll get my body in shape, or I'll get my relationship in shape, or I'll get my business in shape, or you need to focus on this. And I want you to start this now. And again, you can take it from me, I've spent millions and millions of dollars on appreciating assets. I've made a ton of money buying property, buying stocks, leveraging, business. But I've also saved. And I've now saved religiously for over 15 years. And guess what? I'm very, very thankful. And now I'm very, very comfortable having this mindset and having these habits. So it's a bit of a wake-up call. If you want to walk into a room and have more confidence, have some money saved. If you want to have bliss in your life and less pressure and have the discipline to say no to spending, then get this budget in place. My pure belief is this, is if you show me a person who's in control of their finances, who's got a set budget, who understands, a level of investing, not anything calculated, but understands budgeting, understands finance, understands how to manage their day-to-day. Usually they'll have self-control. Usually they'll have discipline. Usually they have the ability to show delayed gratification. Usually, guys, they're actually pretty happy people. Now, obviously, there's going to be billions of people who have the ability to save and the ability to manage their finances that are not going to be happy. I understand that, absolutely. But usually. But you show me someone who's completely out of control financially, but think that they will get their emotions in control, or their relationships in control, or their business in control. I'll usually show you someone who is going to be delusional. My personal opinion is how you are doing financially in life will dictate how you are going in every area of your life. And I get it as well. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely get it. I understand life is hard. Minimum wage, 2 kids, 3 kids, it is hard. The common thought will be, I cannot save. But there's $5. $5 is all I want from, if you are that person and minimum wage and you've got kids and you've got dependents and whatnot, $5. And it isn't the $5, it's the habit. It's the discipline. It's a way of life. When you go to $50 an hour, that goes to $10. When you go to $100 an hour, that goes to $50 a month that you're going to save. And it just builds. Your discipline built right now will save you when you're making serious money. Trust me, I've seen it firsthand with my clients, with my friends. I see it every single day. If you don't have these habits, if you have not got these habits, what ends up happening is simply this. You might be earning $100,000 and you're saving nothing because you're not earning enough money. Then all of a sudden, over the years, you get up to $200,000 or $300,000. But also in that same period, you get a better house, you get a better car, you get better watches. You have to drink that coffee and that breakfast 3 times a week. You have better dinners. And what ends up happening? Well, sure, you might be making $300,000, but you're actually saving the same amount as what you were saving when you were earning $100,000. You get left behind. And then what people say to themselves, again, it's self-delusion. There's no point earning more money because I'm not saving anymore. That's it. You top out. For what? Because you cannot get your budgeting and your savings in check. It's the most important thing, guys. It is the most important thing. I genuinely believe it. It is the most important thing to becoming financially free. It's to learn to love to live frugal. Super simple. So get this budget. I want you to set out a real budget. I want you to set out some outcomes and goals. I want you to start thinking about why you would buy a depreciating asset. And I want you to start committing to saving a percentage of your money every single month, please. Now, I said at the end to email me because I've got you a little budget. I want you to email adrian.t@freshstartadvisory.com.au. I'll send you out a budget. We send this out to all of our clients. I use this myself. It's such an eye-opener. It's an accountability partner, and it is going to be the first way for you to start falling in love with the game of saving and with the game of building financial freedom in your life. I hope this was impactful. Sorry if it ruffled up a few feathers, but I do this for the community. I do this because I value you and I'm here to serve you. So thank you. And as always, to your success. Bye-bye.